like gardening, that's like little old lady stuff. What I look like? I'm a little old lady. Hey YouTube. So I actually have a couple of tasks that I need to do today. I need to dig up a forsythia that I planted in the community. I also need to dig up these dwarf crepe myrtles because I'm not going to keep them. There's a no. There's a no. I also need to plant some bare root plants that I purchased from Lowe's. And so that's going to be pretty much all that we're doing today. Come along. I'm on my way to dig out this show off sugar baby forsythia. I planted it here a couple of years ago when the show off came out. This is one of my garden buddy plantings, but it is not thriving here. And I'm thinking it's because maybe too much tree cover, but the forsythias are blooming right now. And even though this one is budded up every year, I've not seen any more blooms ever. So, and you can see it's got some new growth down there. So, right here, it's clearly green, so it's clearly growing. And there's some few buds, but it's not thriving. So we're gonna pull it out of here and maybe we can rehab it, plant it somewhere in the community where it gets more light. So I'm gonna dig this out of here and we'll figure out where we can put it. It's over here. So let's fill this hole in. Oh, I see my little dog looking. He could not come with me. Dante has no chill. I'll be out there trying to dig up a tree. He'd be running around trying to find friends. We're going to give it some compost and fertilizer and try to revive it. But it's obviously still alive. But it should have yellow flowers all over it. So we're going to do our best to bring it back. Yeah, these are coming out. I know this is going to be rough. Ciao. I found something called a hardy kiwi. So this is a prolific kiwi, and I had never heard of it. So I'm like, okay, well, prolific kiwi, let's what you doing? What we got going? This thing is not the same kiwis like what you see, the fuzzy ones that we're used to. They look like the kiwi bird. These are much smaller. These are all green. They don't get the fuzziness on there, and they bloom in the fall. Now, because mine is very tiny, so it's like bare root, it's not going to likely bloom this year. It says it takes them a couple of years, but they need something to climb on. So I happen to have an extra obelisk, and so I'm going to plant it in the container that I used to have my Laura petalum in. But I'm 100% on board with a hardy kiwi and growing as much food as I can in my little backyard. So let's do this. So this container is what I had my dwarf Laura petalum in. It's already full of potting soil, and I'm just going to recharge this soil a bit with some manure and compost, because there's no roots in it, but we're not changing out to new, we're not putting in new soil every year, y'all. So I'm just going to redo this. And so here's the deal for me, and I've said this before, I plant for peace. Gardening, it teaches you patience, it teaches you peace, and it's hard work, but man, I've just never felt this kind of contentment. Like, I get out here, I get dirty, I get sweaty. It's not easy work by any means. I remember being a little kid and they would talk about gardening. I'm like, gardening, that's like little old lady stuff. What I look like? I'm a little old lady. Okay. This is just some cow manure and compost that I got, and I'm going to use this to recharge my soil. Ooh, it's cold. My hoodie ain't enough. Sis is cold. Okay. We got to pour this in here. All right. Okay. So, I think in addition to like the peacefulness that I find in gardening, it like reminds you it's not all about you. If you don't get out of here, if I did not come out and do anything to my clematis, I didn't prune my roses back. I just like, okay, the season's over, wham wham, and I didn't do anything. But you know what? All of those things are still thriving. They're still growing. God's got it. Like, okay. Ooh. Okay. So I'm just mixing the compost and the potting soil. Compost, cow manure, and potting soil. And the reason it's a mixture of compost and cow manure is because when you're putting things in pots, you have to remember that you are responsible for the nutrients it's getting. It's not being able to pull them from the soil. And so most of what it's getting is coming from you. So I am going to drop this in here, and then I am going to place my obelisk on top. And this is like a little bare root. Look at that. This is just a little bare root. So, just gonna place this. I'm gonna dump all of this soil. And these prolific kiwis take 3 to 5 years to produce fruit. So I'm gonna guess mine is likely not gonna be producing fruit this year. This is an obelisk that I already had that I never used. Okay. And I'm tamping this. Sorry, my hair is probably in the way, y'all. My bad. My bad. My hair is probably in the way. Oh, okay. You ready to grab on? Okay. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Vines are so interesting to me, like the way they grab on and climb. And so this one should be happy with this obelisk. I'm gonna try to tamp this down in here. Okay, so this is our hardy kiwi, and I just wrapped the tendril around there. All right, I just want to go ahead and get this forsythia in a wider container because you can see it's pretty scrunched in there. There we go. There you go, girl. You won't have to live here forever. Let's see if we can get her more centered. Not forever, but just until we can get a good rehab on her. And get her blooming. Now this is us playing the long game because it's going to be several years before. Maybe it won't be several. Maybe it'll just be 2. Maybe it'll just be a couple. I think several means 3 and a couple means 2. I'm not sure if several means 3. Could several mean 2? Yeah, as soon as this cultivar or this variety came out, I bought it. with no place to put it. And so it ended up, oh, this is going to have to come off. Yeah, look at that. That's broken. But I had no place to put it, so I put it out in my community. And she is dry as a bone. But look at that. There's still some life there. Look. So, see if we can get ourselves another forsythia. That'll be my experiment. But you are going to live in a container. She's getting all the good nutrients, and she's going to live in this container until I see her covered in flowers, which is what this show off is supposed to do. Show off is supposed to have flowers all the way to the bottom. How about some water? And Dante has got himself right in the camera. It's okay, buddy. Okay, so I watered that forsythia in, and I actually gave some water to the prolific kiwi as well. My goal is that this show off forsythia actually shows off. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to live up to its name. And since this still has some green, like I scratched it, and so let's see if you can see. If you can see here. There's some green on the bark there where I scratched it. So I'm going to cut this at the bottom. I'm going to put this in some rooting hormone and see if we can get ourselves a new show off sugar baby. We got a couple more things we need to plant to wrap up this day. There's definitely more to plant, but this video is starting to feel long, so I'm going to stop it here. And I will see you guys tomorrow with more planting as we get ready for spring. Okay, see you then. Bye, guys.